Well, I am beyond excited because Holly Foster Wells, the granddaughter of Miss Peggy Lee, is on the other end of this phone right now.
Good morning.
There she is. Oh my goodness. All the way from, are you in LA?
Yes, I'm in Los Angeles.
Wow. Well, we just can't thank you enough for taking the time to chat with us. Here at Legends, of course, we play Peggy Lee's music all day long. She's one of the signature artists in our playlist. So this is such a coup. It's a coup for us to speak with you.
Well, thank you so much, and thank you for helping to continue her legacy.
You know, I've been doing a lot of research because Richie and I are about to do a Peggy Lee tribute show coming up. Here very short, like tomorrow we open. And so I've been doing a lot of research, but what can you tell me, Holly, that is something maybe me and our listeners don't know about your grandmother?
Well, I don't know if I can tell you anything you don't know because you've done a lot of research already, but I told you in our email correspondence that one of the things she was most proud of is being a songwriter. And that was not something that was done back in the 1940s. Singers didn't write their own material. And then she started her own publishing company. So she also had this keen business sense. She was a pioneer and really ahead of her time. On top of that, she was functioning very much in a man's world.
Yeah.
And being a single mom after she and my grandfather got divorced, that was a lot for her to take on, and it was difficult. And of course, being sensual and sexy at the same time, at a time when that wasn't really allowed.
Right. I mean, she was a superwoman. And, even when I was young and I could not have verbalized all those things you just said, I think that was the appeal for me. There was something that made her so very exciting and somebody that I just thought was so hip, even though, you know what I mean? When I would hear her music with my girlfriends, it's like, we got to listen to Peggy Lee, throw her in the mix with, whatever was hot and happening on Top 40 radio. There was just something so appealing about her and her vibe. She was so cool, and I'm sure it was difficult for her being in a man's world and doing all the things she was doing at that time.
You're right that she was very cool, and there was a mystery about her on stage. And I think part of it was it seemingly held so much back. She was very restrained in her movements, and she had an elegance, and people would wonder, what is she thinking, And she would just raise her eyebrow. She didn't have to dance or move a lot.
Right.
Much just with her expression.
Yes. Well, I was just talking to somebody yesterday, and I've got one quote in my show from a critic, I don't remember who, so aptly said, never had so much been delivered from so little. That silky, sparse styling.
That is so true. That's a great quote. But,
yeah.
The other thing is that if you look at where she came from in North Dakota, being born in 1920, and the very tough childhood that she had. Her mother died when she was very young, and that just shaped her whole world. And then she had an abusive stepmother and a father who was a railroad station agent and unfortunately an alcoholic. So my grandmother ended up working a lot at the railroad, and she was just a hard worker. She had this work ethic. And the fact that she, all she had, the connection to the outside world there was the radio.
Wow.
That was her connection. And then she had this dream. And she talked about how she would listen to these artists on the radio, and then she ended up working with her heroes later. And how she made that dream into a reality it's a story of success. Of course, she had a lot of help along the way. A lot of people in North Dakota, in fact, helped her get to concerts and took care of her. But I look at all the things she accomplished, and she really didn't have permission to do those things. She was very courageous and a survivor.
Did I hear you're going to be making a movie about her life?
Yes, we are making a movie about her life. It has been one long process, let me tell you, but Reese Witherspoon actually optioned the life story rights.
Oh my gosh.
Grandmother, yes.
Wow.
And the amazing Doug Wright has written a fantastic script. He's known best for his work on Broadway, Great Gardens and Quills.
Oh.
And he just actually did War Paint on Broadway, too.
Okay.
I Am My Own Wife. He's just remarkable, and he wrote an amazing script, and yeah, we're just waiting. We have an amazing director. We're waiting, Todd Haynes, and we're waiting to see what the timing is with his schedule, and it's taken a long time to get here.
Yeah. Well, but it'll be so worth it because her story needs to be told. It is extraordinary, and people do, I think, especially women, need to know that she was one of the people ahead of them, who was laying the groundwork for empowering women in music, especially, but also in the music business world.
Right.
She was called difficult or told she was, difficult. Well, she just wanted to hear the right notes.
She would be called a perfectionist or a diva or difficult for things that if Frank Sinatra did, that he'd be like, good for him. He's a man, he's taking charge. And for her, like I said, she didn't really have that permission to do that at that time.
Right. No, absolutely. And I'm glad you mentioned Frank Sinatra because we did this tribute. And one of the things that just came to me when I was telling, we were doing a little video promo for it about the show, I said, she's a lot like Frank Sinatra because she covered so much of the great American songbook and did it so beautifully. And she wrote her own stuff. So I don't know that people realize how, parallel she and Frank were in the regard of the amount of music that they created of the songbook.
Well, that's a wonderful comparison. And actually, one of the gentlemen that runs the Sinatra estate says to me often, she's the female Frank Sinatra. And I'm sure she can't think of any higher compliment because she absolutely loved and adored Frank Sinatra.
Yeah. Well, it has just been our great pleasure to get to speak with you and hear your incredible, stories about your grandmother and your insight. Holly Foster Wells, we're going to be looking for that movie, you better believe.
Thank you, and good luck with your tribute. I can't wait to see how that shows up and turns out. And I actually looked and saw a sneak peek of you singing Fever, and you did a beautiful job. Looked online.
Bless your heart. Thank you very much. Thank you.